You know what's strange? One day, everything feels exciting. Your goals make sense, your routine feels purposeful, and even small things bring a spark of joy. Then suddenly, it's gone. The same life, the same people, the same dreams, but now nothing feels interesting anymore. And you can't quite explain why. We often think losing interest means something is wrong with us. Maybe we're lazy, unmotivated, or just not disciplined enough. But what if that's not the real story? What if this sudden emptiness isn't a failure of effort, but a signal from your mind? Picture this. You wake up, check your phone, scroll endlessly, and feel nothing. You open something you used to enjoy, a hobby, a video, conversation, and within minutes, you're bored. It's not that you don't want to care, it's that you can't. And that difference matters more than most people realize. Here's what's happening beneath the surface. Your brain is driven by a chemical called dopamine. It's often called the motivation molecule, but it's not about pleasure, it's about anticipation. Dopamine rises when your brain expects something rewarding. But when your environment floods you with constant stimulation notifications, short videos, instant gratification, your brain starts to adapt. And this is where things get strange. The more stimulation you consume, the less sensitive your brain becomes to it. Psychologists call this dopamine desensitization. What once felt exciting now feels average. What felt average now feels boring. And eventually, even things you love start to feel meaningless. Think about it. Activities that require effort, learning, creating, building relationships deliver slower rewards. But your brain, now used to fast and easy stimulation, begins to reject anything that doesn't give immediate feedback. So you don't just lose interest. Your brain quietly rewires what it considers worth your attention. But here's the interesting part. This isn't just about technology or habits. There's also an emotional layer. Sometimes losing interest is a form of psychological protection. When your mind feels overwhelmed, uncertain, or emotionally drained, it reduces your engagement with the world, almost like dimming the lights to conserve energy. In fact, studies in behavioral psychology suggest that when people experience prolonged stress or lack of control, they can enter a state similar to what researchers call learned helplessness. In this state, motivation drops, not because the person is incapable, but because their brain no longer expects effort to lead to meaningful results. Now connect that to modern life. Constant comparison, pressure to succeed, endless information. The brain is overloaded yet undersatisfied. It's busy but not fulfilled, stimulated but not engaged. And this is where most people misunderstand everything. They try to fix the problem by forcing more motivation, more productivity, more discipline. But motivation isn't something you can squeeze out on command. It's something that emerges when your brain believes something is worth pursuing. So when you suddenly lose interest in everything, it might not mean you've lost your drive. It might mean your brain has lost its sense of meaning, balance, or reward. Here's what most people don't realize. Interest doesn't disappear randomly. It fades when your internal world and external life fall out of alignment, when what you're doing no longer feels connected to who you are, or when your brain is too overwhelmed to care. And maybe that's the real insight. Losing interest isn't the end of motivation, it's a message, a quiet signal that something deeper needs to change, not just what you do, but how you experience it. So the next time everything feels dull and meaningless, don't rush to fix it. Pause. Pay attention, because sometimes losing interest isn't losing yourself. It's the beginning of finding what actually matters. And if this made you think a little differently, consider subscribing.